Patch number 5 for the Rogue Frontier update is here, and it comes with the new crystal weapons and your typical balances with combat. And there are also some bug fixes that has been plaguing Albion Online, at least for corrupted dungeons, for a while now, and they've already fixed it in this update. So let's look at it, and let's start with the new crystal weapons. So the new crystal weapons finally are here: the Fire Staff, the Nature Staff, and the Crossbow. I did upload a video today as well with the Flame Walker for the Fire Staff for Stalker Corrupted Dungeons, and go ahead and watch that after this. So let's look at the Flame Walker Staff. This is the Fire Staff. The Spontaneous Combustion transforms you into a raging fireball, flying towards your enemies, dealing damage to those in your path and to those that have been impacted as well once you turn back into your human form. So this is really good. I think this is the most popular. I don't want to say the most popular, but this is really good for DPS. I've seen it used in an open world, seen it used in the Mist, seen it used in some arenas, seen it used in 1v1 Stalker Corrupted Dungeons. I have yet to see it used in 2v2 though, so maybe that's a thing. Probably some small scale-ish. Not ZvZ unless they're bombing with like an 8.4, and I still don't see it. Even if they're bombing with an 8.4, there's like a lot better options out there. But this is a really good weapon as a DPS. I love it. And again, I already created a video for it, so check that out. It's pretty good. This is really interesting though. The Forged Bark Nature Staff. This is a dual nature. All right, the dual nature allows you to switch between fortifying your allies and ensnaring your enemies. So this is actually pretty good. This, I think, is the most expensive among the three as of recording this video. It's because the first skill adds a shield to you and your allies, heals them over time, and not only that, you can switch over to the thorns. That's why this is called the dual nature, that roots your enemies for up to like 5 seconds or something ridiculous. And then when you switch back to your healing abilities, it gives you another shield and gives you back that healing over time. Really, really good for, I want to say, like for ZvZs, you know how the tree, the Ent shields everyone, something like that. Although that is like a much larger circle. I can see this like maybe being used to counter bombs if you're fast enough. And you can be fast enough because you just press one button and you're already there. Maybe if you're him, you can also root them after they drop their E's, after they drop their bombs. Shield and then root and then counter potentially. Again, I've seen this used in Corrupted Dungeons as well. Kind of powerful, especially when you're kiting and you do have the heal on the W. It is really, really good. I don't see it being used anywhere else, though. Maybe arenas. Arenas could be good, but not enough heals. Small scale as sort of like a support healer. Not really your main heals. Pretty good as well. But that is your Forged Bark, the new Nature Staff. The Arc Light Blaster. This is probably like the weakest among the three. I haven't seen it used in a lot of content. Flicker Shots unleashes a barrage of energy bolts as you spin through the air, dealing damage and increasing your resistance. So, increased resistance is nice. The damage is kind of low. It is not used for 1v1. It is not used for 2v2. Probably for some small scale. This one, so maybe like an arena as well. It is just not as great as the first two. The first two is like where to use it. This one, not so much. This is a little too weak. Maybe they'll buff this and maybe they'll nerf these two after like a couple of weeks. But that's it. Those are the new crystal weapons. All right, moving on to the combat balance changes. First off is the Axis. Despite multiple nerfs, Infernal Scythe has continued to dominate as the ZvZ damage dealer of choice, crowding out alternatives. The damage of the second swing has been reduced but converted into dots to disincentivize Zergs from running 5 per party. Okay, so the Bloody Reap, it is the brawl meta type of ZvZ. Second swing now deals damage in 3 ticks over 2 seconds does not stack. Ah. So this is pretty much dead, no? Because the advantage that you have running multiple per is if you just swing, they will go down to below 40% and just kill them. Damage per tick below is going to be total of 255. So increased damage actually, but it does not stack. Damage per tick above 40 has been increased as well as the total, but again, does not stack. All right, one more for the axe. Raging Blades has been powerful component of axe's domination in ZvZ, so its area has been reduced to limit its effectiveness in largest fights. Okay, 6 to 5. Cool. Moving on to the Crossbows, Energy Shaper has remained a niche pick in ZvZs. In total channel duration time has been reduced. Its total channel duration has been reduced while the damage per tick has been increased to make it more accurate beams deadlier in a shorter time. To make the accurate beams, okay. Divine Engine on the Energy Shaper. Okay, almost 1 second in duration. Ticks slower. Damage per tick increased. And initial tick now goes after 0.1 second. Okay, that is very interesting. So 2.6 seconds. The biggest thing about this not being used in ZvZs, in my opinion, is it's very telegraphed. And it's very reflectable. And if you get reflected, you just die. So let's see if this is actually going to make it so that Energy Shaper comes back to ZvZs and Bloody Reap just dies. All right, moving on to the Daggers. Because Demon Fang has been a menace in ZvZ, it has received multiple nerfs to damage and resilience penetration over previous patches. Yeah, there was a term called Demon Fanged for a weapon or an item getting nerfed one patch after the other. So some of that damage has now been restored. When they say some, holy crap, they do mean some. Damn. Why even add? Why even add anything? Okay, cool. Although you can deal like 3D, right? You can swing with this. But plus 18 base damage overall? I don't know about that. Due to the significant setup required for Ring of Death, its penalty of misexecution has been softened, giving Twin Slayers more opportunities to land the one shot. So the first cast cooldown from 25 to 15 seconds, and the energy cost is now from 12 to 10. All right, that's pretty good. It is a good option for arenas. I've seen it used in arenas to kind of just snipe your opponent. One shot in 1v1. Open world most likely. And probably in small scale to just get rid of one player's. Most probably the healer. You just invis. You use your Ring of Death. Shadow Edge, and then just E, and just kill. Pretty good. It's probably killing gatherers too, gathering nodes. You just invis, you stack your damage up, and you just one-shot people. The Fire Staff is also getting some love in this update. The Raging Flare's damage has been condensed and increased to provide fire users a quicker, more impactful long-range damage option. Like we needed. Although the Raging Flare has been one of the W skills that I've always said do not use in any situation. It's just there are way better options out there. Let's see their changes though. Cast time is 0.6 to 0.4. Impact damage has been significantly increased. Okay, that's 19. Dot tick is from 6 to 3, 1 second interval unchanged. Okay, so lesser dots. Dots per tick now has been tripled, so this is basically the same. Total dot damage has been increased. Okay, so more impact damage, more dot damage, lesser cast time, faster tick. I mean, yeah, I guess it's still fairly difficult to aim this, and it is still very slow moving projectile. But I guess not in a 1v1, not in a 2v2, in a small scale, most likely, the W for range ZvZ Probably artillery is probably still better, but that's an option. One more buff and it will be usable. I think so. So I think they have to make it like a targeted thing. What if they make it a targeted thing? It's going to be like Q1. It's going to be so OP. If they increase the projectile speed, actually, if they increase the projectile speed on this, it is going to be a more appealing option because W1 gives you mobility. W2 gives you firewall, which, you know, against melee is just OP. W4 gives you cancel and high damage, especially when they have Q on them. And W5, which is the artillery, just deals so much damage and it's targeted. The Raging Flare kind of just like is meh. You know, it has higher cooldowns. Yes, it has good damage. It's slow projectile speed is the main issue. So if they increase the projectile speed on this one, it make it easier for players to just like hit. This can be revived. Not with the extra damage though. I don't know about the extra damage. It's probably not. I've been using the Quarterstaff for a very long time. Raging Flare is not it. Moving on to the Crossbows. The Frost spell attack requirement has been reduced as it felt too high on builds using less spammable abilities like Frozen Surge and Frost Nova. This will help Frost players keep enemies locked down more consistently. Oh, this is the root. Oh, shoot. Oh, that is a really good change, actually. 5 to 4 is huge. You can just like root them forever now. Okay, Frost players, rejoice. That's a really good build. That's a really good buff. The Icicle as well. The Icicle has remained a niche ZvZ tank, but its dramatic hit delay has made it feel outdated in modern Albion. So this has been reduced to improve its responsiveness. Okay, all right, it's a good change. Moving on to the Permafrost. It's been a strong ZvZ option, but its crowd control when stacked as an 8-man bomb squad has left little room for reaction. With such consistently valuable long-range stun, its damage has been reduced to compensate. Okay, so the damage has been reduced. Cool. Stun duration now ignores diminishing returns. Okay. Stun duration no longer refreshes by consecutive ice crystal stuns. Ooh, okay. So it's still a pretty good option, though. Still a pretty good option for ZvZs. Not too much of a change there. Now let's go on to the hammers. The Grove Keeper has fallen out of favor as both an engage and peel tank option. The bonus resistances for hitting targets have not felt impactful to Grove Keeper players, so they have been removed in favor of instant knock-up, making engages more deadly even against enemy cleanses. Okay, cool. Ground Pound on the Grove Keeper removed increased resistance. Okay, cool. Added knock-up all targets for a duration based on the amount of enemies hit. Ooh! If you hit 7 or more, it's 1.2 seconds knock-up. In a ZvZ situation, 1.2 seconds is an eternity. Okay. Nice. I would love to see Grove Keepers back in ZvZs. Alright, if you hit 7 or more, 1.2 seconds again in ZvZs. Holy crap. That's an eternity and a half. Good. Grove Keepers. Huge change indeed. Alright, here we go. Holy Staffs. To help Exalted Staff feel more responsive and succeed in its intended role of clearing hostile ground areas, its cast time has been reduced. Huh. I've always thought the Exalted Staff's weakness is its in cooldown. Yeah, you can get rid of, you know, ground things by the enemies. But its long cooldown has been its main thing, right? I guess in ZvZs where you have Eagles for cooldowns, it's not that great. So you do have that better cast time. You can respond faster on any of the hostile ground area effects. All right, moving on to the Maces. The Dread Storm Monarch has struggled to find a strong foothold in the meta. This is always very funny to me. Insert weapon has struggled to find its place in meta. As a result, the Eye of the Storm's uncleansable resistance reduction has been increased to help it compete with alternative pierce options. Okay, damage reduction. Uncleansable resistance reduction. Cool. Okay. To those who have been using this, you get a little bit more. Vendetta's pool hit delay has felt overly generous to opponents, so it has been shortened to help Camlin Mace with the other clamp tank options. Okay, so the hit delay is now 1.2 seconds. It is easier now to clump people. I would like to see Camlin Mace as well come back in ZvZ, similar to how, the Grove Keeper. When I first started playing this game, it's all been Camlin Mace and Grove Keeper meta in some ZvZ action. So I would like to see them come back actually in the meta. The Nature Staff, a little bit of a reduction here. Protection of Nature has been a strong defensive tool with a very high uptime. Its high damage reduction paired with the bonus healing received has resulted in targets having too much survivability too often in smaller scale group fights, so its resistance has been reduced somewhat. Still very powerful. 0.04 resistance reduction is not going to make it any less powerful. It's still pretty good. So if you're using the Prot of Nature, still pretty good. For the Quarterstaffs, to help the Fatal Blades counter fast ZvZ engages, its damage reduction now stacks higher and faster, but with reduced duration. So this is the Fatal Blade on the Black Mouse Stave. Reduced damage reduction versus players up to 30%. Nice. Duration is 5 seconds. Initial tick now is 0.6, and the projectile speed is 35 meters per second. Okay. I mean, that is pretty good. The damage reduction actually is really nice. Black Mouse Stave, also some crazy person also uses it for 1v1 PvP sometimes, and it can be really annoying. But, there's that 30% damage reduction. It's pretty good. The Soul Shaker on the Grail Seeker has fallen out of favor as a viable defensive tank in ZvZ. They're just reusing words now to help players better protect their team's flanks. Its root duration has been increased to match its area duration. Okay. Will that help a lot? The additional reduced 0.5, additional 0.5? Okay, cool. The Soul Scythe has remained a niche shot caller option in ZvZ, so stand time has been reduced to make it feel more responsive. Okay. Maybe a comeback of the very, very old meta. You have your Camelan, you have your Soul Scythe, you have your Grove Keeper. It might as well bring us back, I don't know, the Raven Strike. The Raven Strike probably would be a good option here as well. So bring us back 2022 meta. Spears. While Cripple has been a good tool to counter swords, yes, adjustments have been made to help it feel more powerful in more situations more often. Alright, for the Cripple on all spears, damage type becomes physical, okay, from magical. Added auto attack speed is reduced by 25% for 4 seconds. Cooldown has been reduced as well. Movement speed buff duration from 5 to 4. No longer gives bonus damage when purging a sprint. But it now gives you an auto attack speed reduction debuff. Okay, auto attack speed is reduced by 25% for 4 seconds. Okay, I feel like the damage bonus is where the Cripple shines though. It's used for, they sprint, you cripple, you purge their sprint, but you get that damage, and you get that damage. Now no longer gives bonus when purging a sprint. When purging a sprint. So any other movement buff? Any other movement buff also still gives you the damage? Or not? Huh. Swords. The previous buff to Blade Cyclone has been reverted as it became the default option and outperformed all other options, particularly Carving and Infinity Blade players. Yeah, you know what? I didn't even know why they actually added the buff to the Blade Cyclone. It already is very powerful, and I don't know why they added more mobility to already one of the most mobile weapons in the game, which is the sword. This is when they added the Blade Cyclone. This is the newest actual ability on the swords, actually. And the W. And I didn't understand when they first added this. It is a cool looking ability, but also more mobility for some weapon that already has a lot of mobility, and it has been reduced. Thank goodness. Moving on to the War Gloves to help or sign maulers to find more success The damage reduction from a previous nerf, originally paired with a significant resilience penetration decrease, has been reverted. So they're just going back to things now. They're like, oh, we changed it. Oh, shoot. It's not great. Let's bring it back. Revert. 100 striking fist. The Ursine Mauler damage per tick now is increased. Delay damage is increased as well. And the Infernal Boulder as well on the Hellfire Hands is getting some changes. Some of the Infernal Boulder's instant damage has been moved into its dot component to both reward skilled players for hitting all three boulders and to limit effectiveness when stacked in ZvZ. Ah, okay. So reduced impact damage. The third one is increased though. So if you hit your third one, it is going to be better. I believe there was a time when they like reverted this. They're like, this was all the same damage, I believe, and they made it reversed. And now they're increasing the damage on the third so that it rewards those who actually combos it with a triple kick or a movement. And they're also increasing the dot damage as well. Okay. I think it's still pretty good for most of the content that's being used though. Armors. To make protection of the Fiends more risky, its negative resistance penalty has been increased, making it more important to combo with allies or to cancel channel early. Okay. So if you're a demon armor player, make sure to have at least 2 demon armors. Demon armor the other person while they're demon armoring you as well. It's pretty good. The taunt as well has been simplified to apply the same effect regardless of the selected target while increasing its value as a short cooldown damage option for plate users. The taunt on this, damage, bonus damage versus all 20, damage or defense versus players negative 20 as well. No longer distinguishes between target types. Okay, cool. Not really used for PvP. Only crazy people uses this for PvP. And just use soldier armor if you're just a plate you looking for more damages. The capes, one more of the capes. The Fort Sterling cape has had its cooldown significantly reduced at higher tiers to justify the price increase to enable players to rely on its consistent cleanse option. So this is the same as with all of the other changes that they made to capes lately. More IP just means better cooldowns now. So 3 IP per 100 IP, 3 seconds to 8 seconds, 118 seconds to 112 at 700, and 91 to 40 at the highest end. So, transporters now bring 8.4s, I guess. Almost there. Invisibility potion. Damage reduction has not been significant enough or lasted long enough to give opponents a fair chance to react fully to undetectable engages. Damage reduction has now been changed to reduce all damages dealt by players, making it harder to bypass the penalty with stacked damage buff, and also lingers for 2 seconds after exiting stealth rather than starting from the moment of use, giving players a chance to fight back if revealed early. Ooh. I see. Okay. That's a good change. Invisibility potion, damage reduction, all reduction, minus 50 is unchanged. Damage duration, fixed time on cast while invisible and remaining for 2 seconds once revealed. So that when you drink, you have reduced damage in the past and you get revealed by a, I don't know, like Guardian helmet or Guardian armor, Stalker hood, things like that. You still have that reduced damage. Now you only get reduced damage for 2 seconds after revelation when you're revealed. That's pretty good. That's a good change. Good for both defense and offense. All right, there is this one bug. The spinning blades on the dual swords fixed issue where immunity to crowd control persistent after impact. As a Firestaff user who uses Firewall against dual swords on a daily basis, yeah, this has been happening when they jump, right? And then you Firewall right after the jump, but they still go over your Firewall. That's pretty good. Fixed an issue where stacks persisted after casting was interrupted. So that's pretty good as well. And they also fixed the bear paws. Same enemy could be hit multiple times. That is not good. And also the time freeze, where they could still receive heal from lifesteal effects once they are frozen. So those are the changes. A long list, actually. A long list of changes here, but not a lot of things that you go like, yeah, this is going to change the meta, except for the defense tank and the engage tank in the ZvZ. And obviously the new crystal weapons. Those are pretty good as well. So what do you think about this patch number 5 for this Rogue Frontier update? Let me know in the comment section below. Or better yet, join us live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Burnstone.